Wotcher Nooklings. I really wanted to give this project a go, something I've not done for a little while. Plain and simple, making key rings, keychains, whatever you want to call them. So let's head on over to the desk and see what we can create. First things first, we need a candidate to become a keychain, and who better than Cedric? For those who don't know, Cedric is the capybara keychain. I actually drew him as a character in my sketchbook when I was testing out the hoo-hoo markers, and I just decided I want to revisit him, redesign him, just because, you know, I wanted him to be more unique to me. This is him, Cedric, up in the corner. Yeah, doing more in my style and not just be a straight copy of this keychain, and that's what I did. Now, in case you're wondering, he's gone from a crocodile hood to a crocodile costume, and the reason being is, you know, Cedric gets a bit fed up with his friends teasing him for his mum putting him in this crocodile hood, but what he noticed is that crocodiles themselves don't actually get teased by anybody, so he decided to create a full-on crocodile costume. And in those moments where he's feeling a bit fed up and wants to be on his own, he just hides in the water and pretends he is a crocodile. Sometimes he does find that a bit lonely when he doesn't take his costume off, but you know, sometimes you just want a bit of space, and that's cool. And so yes, to make the actual keychains, I am using shrink plastic, shrinky dinks, like with Mariah's recent video. I couldn't find Shrinky Dinks either, and I actually started this video back in February. Yeah, a bit behind on that one. But even back then, I couldn't find them. So don't know if they've stopped making them. You know, the company doesn't exist anymore. But we still got shrink plastic, and that's the main thing. This little kit was kind of cool. Came with keyring attachments, earring attachments, and most importantly, a hole punch. And I got the frosted version. Excuse me, coughing. I have had quite a nasty cold. It's still lingering, and it's been over a month now, but you know, getting there. Yeah, so I decided to test out the hoo-hoo markers on Cedric and just see how they'd go, because I don't think I've actually used alcohol markers on shrink plastic before, and I couldn't remember from Mariah's old video, because I'm fairly sure she tested them, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it just decided I'd do that. Now, Mary, you can see he's pretty much done already, and I just couldn't use the footage for him. I don't know what happened during that recording, but there was light flashing. Now, it was either to do with me using my little studio light, and for whatever reason the camera was struggling with it, and every time I moved in or out of frame it caused it to flash as the camera adjusted brightness or whatever, or it was like clouds going across the sky. I don't know, but it was driving me nuts. And I was also thinking, you know, if there's people watching with photosensitive epilepsy, it's just, yeah, it wasn't a good idea to use that footage, so I didn't use it. And yeah, I had literally just finished painting Mary. I'll link his video in the description below, when I decided I would add him to the keychains. Yeah. You have to excuse the pre-sketch of the post for this one. This guy, again, is from an older video. I say older. It's not that old. It's from my first hybrid video. And again, a character I wanted to revisit. Didn't change much about this one, because I love him as he is, and I decided to name him Scout. So this is the doll cross with the pangolin, and the only thing I actually changed in the end were the scales, because the way I'd done it on the original drawing, I'd made them very small, and they did look more like scales from a reptile rather than, I suppose you could call it armor, or plating, that's the word I'm looking for, on an pangolin. which I suppose is a kind of armadillo. Let's not get too technical. Anyway, I really love how this pose came out, but I wanted to do that off camera because I knew I would just spend way too long on it and just do so much rubbing out and corrections and changing things and all the rest of it. So I just wanted to get the pose sorted and then I could add in the features on camera. Now for this one, for some reason I brain farted completely, and instead of doing the normal where you just grab the transparent shrink plastic, I transferred the image onto the plastic, which you'll see me do in a minute. And the only thing I could think, see that's the image transferred on. The only thing I can think is because I'd been doing it for a few art projects that I was working on alongside this, and I kind of just forgot what I was doing and that I didn't need to do it for the shrink plastic. But hey ho, live and learn. It just meant that the shrink plastic was a little messier than I would have liked, but that's why I decided to try out the Artex acrylic markers. Sorry, forgot what brand I had. The thing is, my pens, my pencils, and my acrylic markers, they're all different brands, and it's just remembering who's what and what have yous. But yeah, I matched his colours, Scout's colours, as best as I could, which wasn't easy because I've got very limited range of acrylic markers. But I managed to blend them a bit, layer them a bit, and overall happy. Obviously the plates are a bit too yellowy golden, but it is what it is, and like I say, I'm happy with him overall. And you know, the results I got from those colours. But I'm going to stop waffling for a little bit and just let you guys enjoy this process, and I shall catch up with you when we start the next one. Moving on to the Nooklings, and I decided to use the Neon Tetra guy for this because I thought it would order. Bleh. Can you tell I'm getting tired, and this is like the third attempt recording this voiceover, but here we are. Anyway, I decided that I'd use the Neon Tetra Nookling because I think I mentioned in that video, Neon Tetras rather are translucent. transparent. And I just thought it'd be fun to, you know, literally just do the red and the blue for him and just see what happens. You know, you don't know till you try. I did a really pale grey outline. I can't remember why I had grey fine liners. I've got a couple of them, and yeah, I can't remember why, but there we go. Using it again, and yeah, he was done simple, really quick. But again, using the Ohuhu markers for him, alcohol markers, and this girl I just wanted to do completely with coloured pencils, including the outlines, to see how that looked. I was using the colour sheet to do this, and I still managed to muck her up just a tiny little bit. I was simply just doing the outlines because I was trying to match the outlines with her actual colours, and yeah, one of the paws is supposed to be yellow, and I forgot, even though I was staring at the page. But what can you do? So this is on the colour sheet. She is called Retro Nights, and I did actually do her on my create this book rule page video. No, it wasn't. Not the rule page. It was the growth chart. There we go. It's been a long day, week, month. I don't know. I've lost track of time. Anyway, yeah, she was the one hatching. So whether we call her Retro or give her another name, let me know in the comments down below. Love to know what you guys think, and let me know how you think these guys turned out. I quite like how she's turned out, her colours. I did have to layer it again with her with the pencils because I thought they were okay when I first put them down, and I was like, no, I need to change them ever so slightly. So I did. The next two Nooklings, which I'm just going to talk about briefly before we get there. I did... What else did I do? Did Ramford, and I did 4 Nooklings. Oh, the ice one, of course. See, this is what happens when you jump ahead of the video of the Thestian Nooklings. So I did want to touch on briefly where I've been. You know, yeah, I know it's been a while again since I last posted, but this time there's been various different reasons, things coming up. Starting with this pretty nasty cold I had, and like I said in that post, whilst I wasn't actually feeling ill, you know, I didn't feel drained or groggy or anything, you know, just I was coughing a lot and sneezing and just, yeah, sounded gross. Then there was a competition that I had to enter. That video will be up next, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that one with you guys. The competition's ended, the results are in and all the rest of it, but, you know, that's all I'm saying for now. This is the ice coloration of the Thestian Nooklings. Yeah, again, pretty straightforward guy, this one. And again, he needs a name, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Yeah, so after the competition, I was also, again, having issues with the editing software. I don't know what it's doing, but it would tell me that the files are not compatible with the editing software, even though the file types are exactly the same as all the others that were working fine. So I tried to use Premiere Pro. You know, been looking at that, thought it was going to be really good. Downloaded it, got, you know, was going through all the tutorials because it's such a different software to what I have been using, and thought, right, once I got confident, felt confident enough, I just like, right, I'm gonna try this, and then discovered that I it's either the graphic card or video something, I don't ask, I don't know, but something wasn't powerful enough for my computer, on my computer, for it to work. I was like, okay, fine. So got rid of Premiere Pro and just decided, for now, I'm just gonna stick with what I've been using, and you know, if I get to a point where I can hire an editor, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I think I've mentioned that before. Yeah, I probably wouldn't mind it so much if, you know, the software actually did what it was supposed to do and not argue. But in the process of removing Premiere Pro from my computer, I managed to delete everything. And I mean pretty much everything from, you know, the C drive, the internet, you know, everything. Fortunately, I did know how to do a complete system reset, which took 2 tries, and that's how I discovered I deleted absolutely everything, because when you do a reset, you can either do it reinstall Windows from the computer or from the cloud. I was trying to do it from the computer, and of course it wasn't there, so we had to do it from the cloud, but we're back up and running, so that's the main thing. Everything seems to be going well at the moment. I'm doing things in sections as far as editing goes, just to try and make it easier so the program's less likely to glitch out on me. At least that's the hope. But anyway, there's enough about that. I'll probably talk about it and go into a bit more detail in a different video, probably in a vlog, where it's a bit more, you know, I wouldn't say appropriate, but you know what I'm saying. Not whilst I'm creating art. Anyway, this is Ramford. This is Jay's Nookling that he picked out, and this one was for the rule page in my Create This book. But yeah, I'm going to stop waffling, and I will see you in the outro. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about finishing these off. I did forget that ideally you leave a border around whatever you're cutting out, because otherwise the plastic splits. So yeah, they're a bit uneven. Different kinds of keychains and phone charms in this set, which I'd forgotten, and I just decided to use a couple of each, and these are the jump rings. Yeah, jump rings. Fortunately, I already had pliers, so that made everything a bit easier to do. And yeah, I'm sorry there's no footage of the plastic shrinking. It's that time of year where my oven needs a spring clean, so yeah, no, that's just not going on camera. And yes, I know I could have added like beads and things to these, but I don't have any, so yeah, they're just as is. There's no fancy tassels or beads or anything. They're just, you know, their own little selves, and I'm quite happy with that, and I think they all turned out pretty cute. So, starting with Cedric, really happy with him, happy with his new design. Love how he turned out. Let's drop him, why not? Yeah, really, really happy with how he looks now. I think he's super cute. Yeah, obviously a bit of a learning curve, because like I say, it's been a while, so yeah. Cedric, then on to Mary. So at the time when I first started recording this video, I had only just completed the actual Mary figure. I'll link that video down below. Apparently I've got dropsiitis today, but never mind. Okay, so from Mary we've got Scout, whose name also escapes me. It's not just things that are falling, but yeah, really, really happy with him and how he turned out. Yeah, I love him so much. And then on to the Nooklings. So we have, I can't remember which order we did them in, so whatever, we'll just do them. We have our Retro Knights girl, who still needs a name, whether we call her Retro or call her something else. Let me know in the comments down below and we'll pick out a name for her. But yeah, really like how she turned out. And then Glowstick, our Neon Tetra guy. Now he, can't get hold of his tag, is a little tricky to see, especially on camera. Just because I wanted to leave him transparent, as I mentioned, because Neon Tetras are transparent. So yeah, it's just, I still think he's cool though. I really like him. And then we've got our Ice Base boy. His colorway was called Ice. Again, he needs a name, so again, stick your ideas in the comments below. He's one of our Thestian Nooklings, Polar Nooklings, whatever you want to call them. And I'm getting tangled in them. And then finally, we have Ramford. That is Jay's Nookling that he picked out. I'll link his video down in the comments, in the bit below. Now, I am a bit sad about him because I used matte Mod Podge to seal them all, and acrylic marker was not the choice for doing matte Mod Podge, even though these had been dry for like days. It smudged quite badly. Yeah, it's not as obvious on the front as it is the back, but yeah, still sad about that. But yeah, overall though, happy with how he's turned out. Jay's already seen him, he loves him, so that's always good. So that is gonna be, you can't stop the video there. What do you mean? Because you haven't finished. Well, of course we finished. You forgot this poll, didn't you? Oh. Exactly. Yeah, I did forget about that. Okay. Because I forgot what I was doing, we've got one more to make. So as I said, you know, this video was started back in February. So yeah, I did kind of forget about that poll. And part of me did think about sort of mushing the two together, the sort of something cute and fuzzy with a dinosaur, because they were the two that got voted for. But I kind of did that with Winter in my last hybrid video, which I'll link that down below. But I was thinking more sort of prehistoric mammal anyway, but because I wanted to do this very specific pose, I just knew it needed to be a red panda. You know, I was debating doing a binturong, because they are so fun and supposedly smell of popcorn. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I've never smelt one. I have seen one in a zoo, I will say that. But they are really, really cute. But I just thought, you know, most people know what a red panda is. I don't think all that many people know what a binturong is. Will I do one eventually? Probably, because I like, you know, drawing more obscure animals that people don't necessarily recognize. Yeah, I always find that a bit of fun. But this is Ember. Took me a little while to decide on her name. I was torn between Vixen and Ember because, if you didn't know,
red pandas are also known as firefoxes, and so I thought Vixen was going to be kind of appropriate, but I like Ember a bit better, and Jay agrees with me. Ember's sort of the better choice. Yeah, so she is the last one.
So Ember is all done as well, and I absolutely love how she turned out. Glad I went back and did her. Yeah, she's got a slight sort of dent, slight bend in plastic where she didn't flatten out properly. I don't know what happened. I did try putting her in the oven again because I did that with one of the others that hadn't flattened out properly. But I don't think I put her in the second time for long enough because she still didn't flatten out properly. But you know what? She's still really cute, still really love her. Really, as I say, really happy with her. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay uniquely you, and I'll catch you Nooklings next time.